Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the ESL ESEA Pro League. It is the second match of the day. Cloud9 on your screens right there. Had a pretty impressive performance last week, but not as good as these boys. EnVyUS, they went and won Gfinity. And, well, they mowed down Cloud9 in their way. And, well, they played on cash last week. 16-12 was the score. I got to talk to Nothing and Sean Gayers earlier on, and they talked about the eco rounds, the anti-eco rounds. That was really where they felt they had to put some work in.
Yeah, that's always the key with Envy, is how are you going to be able to manage, their Force Spies, their Tech 9s, they're just so dominant on those rounds. It can be, if you can manage it well, it turns into a double-edged sword. If you're constantly forcing them into those situations where they're picking up the Tech 9s instead of all the AK-47s, it can go really, really well for you, but that's the scary part because they're just so good on them.
And yeah, this is something we talked about, they had it on the desk, we're just talking about how when Envy get those Tech 9s, there is no break. They will just run and keep running and keep running. You can put smokes in their way, flash them, doesn't matter. They will run through it. Yeah, they will just keep on killing. That guy on your screen's Freakazoid. Obviously, Jason mentioned it, questionable performance last week. I know, obviously, seeing a lot of the Twitter debate between a lot of the analysts. Lurpus was very harsh on him, talking about, what does he offer to the team? Jason, what exactly does he offer to the team?
He's just a pure entry fragger. The thing that people have to understand about Cloud9, this turned in 100% into Sean Gayers' team, and he got to bring in these players, the exact players he wanted. And from talking to him about it, he wanted to have Freakazoid as a pure entry fragger and nothing behind him. He wanted those two players to get to the point where they're in a bomb site with the bomb planted, and Shroud, Skadoodle, and Sean close it out.
Right.
So, Freak is there just to get that first kill. They don't care how many he gets as long as he's doing his job. The issue is he wasn't getting it done.
Yeah.
So, you want to talk about someone who's got to step their game up. He's one of them.
Pressure's on them, but no jet lag, of course, because they have been in for a week. Of course, the map is cash. Something, luckily, I had the pleasure of talking a lot about with Sean Gayers back at Katowice, because they actually spent the week preparing for Katowice in Poland, and EnVyUS were one of their practice partners, so they played a hell of a lot of cash against EnVyUS. They knew the strategies. It's so much to the point when we were at the semi-finals, EnVyUS NIP knew exactly what was coming, what strategies. And I remember at the time he was saying, EnVyUS just play it scarily fast. They can control that mid, and once you've lost mid, you are done.
Yeah, that's a huge portion of this map, and that's why we see so often there's so many different mid-control setups for the CT side, getting aggressive, getting into vents. You have to control it, and if you're giving it up too much for free, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. And like you said, especially against EnVyUS.
Yeah, they are 3-0 down against EnVyUS on cash. The last week, 16-12, was the closest Cloud9 have come of beating them. That was a 1-1 situation, so there was pressure. So clearly, Cloud9 are starting to step up. And bearing in mind, EnVyUS obviously went on to dominate NIP. Right. If you were to look back at the score, it actually really wasn't that bad a performance by Cloud9.
Oh yeah, especially they took train and then they just got demolished. And then cash was very very close. So and it comes down to something with Cloud9 where they do play well and they do play smart and they do keep the match close. There's always that one heartbreaking round that they lose that they shouldn't have lost, and they even had a couple rounds like that on train that they won in overtime, but it didn't need to go to overtime.
Nothing in Shroud there. A little loving touch on the arm there. But these guys have been together for a while. Apparently been doing a bit of bench pressing down the gym. So Nothing was saying. So I think Freakazoid's been keeping the teamwork going through using the gym at the hotel. You're obviously staying at the same hotel.
Oh yeah, they're always coming out of the gym in the morning.
But as I mentioned, this is one of the issues we've got to talk about, obviously, with the teams. We just saw Luminosity. They came over on Tuesday with you guys. COG arrived last night. Jet lag is an issue for these guys. And obviously, when it's an international tournament, if you've got to come across the Atlantic, you are traveling a long distance. And for the North American teams, a lot of them are not in gaming houses. Luminosity obviously are, but I don't believe Cloud9 are they? They're pretty much split across the...
Cloud9, they were just in Gfinity last week, and they didn't go home between it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. They're okay from that point of view, but if you look at COG, they're not in a gaming house right now. They've got to come from everywhere.
They just moved into
one. Did they just move into it?
In the past month.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah,
GG finally pulling the money out.
Right. It was kind of interesting that they just showed up last night. We were all curious about that. That's so late to be playing a match day. Granted, they do play later on in the day, so they didn't have to be here quite so early, but I mean, that's definitely
going to affect them, and especially in this temperature. It is blistering hot, ladies and gentlemen, in Cologne. Actually, all across Europe. So wherever you are in Europe, if you're watching this one, you'll know just how hot it is. And imagine playing under stage lights, adding that on top. Air conditioning can only do so much.
Right. They're gonna be having some fun down there.
Yeah, at least they won't be complaining the cold, which is often when we get. But Skadoodle, you can see the focus face on him there. He is literally the great white hope for North America. He is coming into this one. If he performs, as they were pointing out, he can be unplayable.
Yeah, I talked about it in the analysis desk. He's the one player on this team that has shown, consistent carry potential throughout a whole match. I mean, nothing has that potential, but he doesn't reach it nearly often enough for Cloud9. Shroud, carries them through stretches, whether it be a clutch or just a beautiful hold or a masterful round that allows him to win it. But we haven't seen that out of him for a whole match. And that's the scary part, is if they want to win this, I mean, Shroud and Skadoodle are going to have to be having very, very, very good plays.
And we mentioned the scary stat from Happy earlier on that we found that the 0.3 KD, which we had an interesting discussion with them earlier, and they were kind of laughing about it, and they realized what it was. Obviously, it was over the 2-month period of when Shox was in-game leading. Obviously, Happy was playing a different role. Yes, he was an AWPer. While he had this scary stat as a 0.3 KD on M4, he was still coming around 3rd, 4th KD for an entire tournament. So every other gun, obviously the AK and the AWP, carrying him through it. But it was all about positioning. MBK just said, well, obviously now Happy's back in game leading, as we found out last week at Gfinity. Now he's back in game leading. He says, I'm flashing for him, I'm smoking for him. So suddenly he's obviously getting those easy entry kills, it's like flashed up opponents, where he wasn't doing that before. He didn't have it, so he didn't have that luxury. So clearly, there's a massive difference in his play. If he's not getting a pre-flash from a teammate, there is a big issue right there. Well,
and it's also very impressive that they can just so fluidly change an in-game leader like that. Yeah. And all of a sudden, it's not just Happy's role that changed. It's NBK who says he's the one flashing for him. So he goes from a more aggressive role to playing that more supportive role for Happy. So that's really cool to see how fluid that transition is. One thing that gets me with Cloud9, I just want to bring this up, is when they're in North America, it's the top 7 North American teams from Pro League. Their winning percentage on CT side is 63%. That drops to 37% against European teams. On the terrorist side against the North American teams, it's 49%. And that drops to 35% against European teams. So you can just see that level of competition, how it affects, their success rate. It's brutal.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't just say Cloud9. It's the whole North American scene, really. It's across the board. We'll see how Keed and CLG do. Obviously, later on, they're going to be playing Fnatic and TSM, which is an unenviable task by anyone. Everybody that saw the group draw, they'll be like, okay, well, at least we're in Group A and not Group B. Yeah.
That is not an exciting group to be in for a North American team whatsoever.
Yeah, the potential... It's not even, you can't even see technically they are top 2 in the world, but you could kind of say they're both the best in the world right now.
Right.
TSM themselves have even said Fnatic are number 1 because they have those majors under the belt. But EnVyUS, they have their own major under the belt. Obviously coming in with that change, with Happy coming in as the in-game leader, they went to 1 Gfinity. So they're coming into this fresh. They've won a tournament. They've got oodles of confidence coming into this.
Exactly, and then they're actually setting up in this pistol round, and something that's become very common is this retake strategy on the A bomb site on pistol round. 3 players over towards B, 2 getting arrested. That's so much information they have already.
But look at Envy. Look how passive they're playing this one. Happy right back on truck. Shox is going to be joining them. They've pushed all the way out on B side. Keo is pretty much in T spawn right now, so he's going to be coming around the back. Smith is going through middle. Envy are completely set up for this. They're sitting passive, waiting for the team to rotate around the back. This is going to be perfectly set up. MBK, Shox, they're just landing the headshots. Cloud9, while they try and go for the take, not able to land the shots. And when you only get 1 kill, they got the bomb plant down. Better than nothing, but EnVyUS read that situation perfectly. The fact they were flanking all the way around the back gave them all the information they needed.
Yeah, it came down to that intel that they received, and not only that, but when you're playing that retake strategy, it's so much easier. NBK gets 2 kills before they even get into the bomb site and start planting the bomb. So, I mean, those 2 kills are crucial. It makes it so much easier to retake. It allows Shox to be aggressive and land some nice headshots.
Yeah, and of course the issue with the pistol, the fact they think they've only brought 1 smoke, only saw 1 smoke down there, means you're not going to be able to block off that A site. Let's see how they set up for this one. Obviously coming into it with Nico, it's just going to be a straight P250. He's not hanging around with it.
Yeah, they're going to buy next round. That'll be a 3rd round buy with the plant.
So they're not going to force anything out. We do see Mag 7 from Happy. Want to see where he goes though. On MBK going aggressive on main, but they are in squeaky. Happy is set up with Mag 7. They're just going to go straight into the grinder here. Soon as the door pops open.
Oh, that was a little cheeky.
That was cheeky.
That was a little bit.
Now, was that Happy showing it straight away, or was that nothing, just getting a quick sneaky peeky? Either way, didn't work out for him. They're going to rotate back around. Are they going to head into main? Oh, they are. They're coming straight into the crosshairs of MBK.
Yeah, because Sean has a smoke and 2 flashes, so he wants something to do with it. Now MBK is going to grab a couple easy ones.
God, he is not missing the shots right now. Going to get himself a very easy 4K. And this is exactly the start that Cloud9 didn't really want to see. Pistol would have been something they could have done with. MBK getting 7 kills in the first 2 rounds is not pretty reading. Here we go, though. This is the buy round. They're forced in it on the 3rd. Let's see what they can do. Sean actually holding on, only getting the Tech-9. Oh, he's gone for the molly, that's why.
Yeah, he's grabbing the utility as the in-game leader to help them kind of execute a strategy they want to run on this 3rd round.
Well, smoked off mid. It's going to be an A push once again. Nothing going up. Squeaky, Freakazoid, Skadoodle, and Shroud all coming through main. Happy and MBK once again. The receivers sitting fairly passive. Shox is holding mid. You can see him lurking in that smoke. Has all the information he needs. There's the molly. It went in towards Vents. But it is going to be an A main. It was just a fake they were trying to do. But look at this. Happy and MBK in perfect position for this one. And again, they should walk into it. They do manage to get one down. That was Shox in mid, though. And MBK, once again, he is landing the shots. Has been taken down. They've got control, finally. But the bomb is actually missing. It's in the smoke. Nothing needs to get forward. But Keo and Smiths on the rotate. They managed to get the rifles out of their hands. And nothing. Already with 2 frags now. The only man standing on quad. Not going to get Smiths down. And Envy will get themselves another very simple round setup. And again, the money now starting to build already. MBK 7.8k will buy himself a rifle back in there, but only 4 kills for Cloud9 in the first 3 rounds is not the ideal start.
No, not at all. And now, I mean, we talk about North American teams need to get a hot start. This is terrible for them. And that round actually was completely backwards to how Cloud9 wants to go. They do not want to have nothing and Freakazoid alive to close out these situationals.
Cloud9 this time looks like going to try and get some mid control here. Shox fully set up for this one. Or is it going to be a B push? But everybody from Envy is in a perfect position. This is obviously going to be just the eco to try and push through. Sean gets the only man with the Tech-9. Heard the vents pop. They know they've come through. They're going to collapse on them from every angle. This should be clean-up duty. Smith gets himself a double. That's all he needed to do from that position. Keo in the background knows he's got one more. Doesn't manage to land the head pop. It is just nothing. Gets himself a second around the side there. Could try and land on Keo, but Keo's not falling for it, and they are really holding the angle as well. More importantly, they're landing the opening entry frags.
Right, nothing's really going Cloud9's way early on in these rounds, and that was a great play by Keo. I know it was just an eco, but just staying alive behind that box. Don't let him take over the bomb site. Don't let a potential bomb plant come in. Wait for the rotation, even with the advantageous fight with a rifle against a pistol.
Well, the AWP now picked up by Skadoodle. Let's see what it can do with this. Smith has replied. Oh, look at this. A 4-man stack from EnVyUS. Pushing out aggressive on A main. Keo manages to find Shroud already down Squeaky. So that's left Smiths all alone over on B site. Now he's got the AWP. This is the confidence they have in his abilities. Yeah, and now Cloud9's in trouble. Now that EnVy has established dominance over towards that A side, they can rotate back now. They have so much intel. And moving forward, Cloud9's going to have to run time off the clock, being cautious of another play like that. And there's Smiths with a nice pick on a nothing. And nothing. The only man really to pick up the kills for Cloud9 so far is going to pretty much put them in the dumpster. Shox is cleaning up from mid. Sean gets the only man standing, trying to go for the rotate, but Shox is ready and waiting to land him. Has the angle covered off. Sean going to make a run for A, but he's going to run headlong into MBK the second he comes around this A main corner. And there's MBK with cleanup duty. And that is pretty much what EnVyUS wanted. A 5-0 start. And already this is looking deadly for Cloud9. It really is, and I love that call by Envy. Knowing that there was a save round and then the upcoming round is going to be a full buy by Cloud9, not letting them have anything they want. Take full control. Don't let them execute any kind of strategy that they're comfortable doing. You take the fight to them and they pick Shroud off immediately, and it's a great advantage. Yeah, switching it up, going full on aggressive. Cloud9 this time look like they're going to go for some mid control here. Shox is all alone. He's at sandbags. Freakazoid has his eye on it. Skadoodle's also on the boost above him. They don't have any Molotovs to flush anyone out of position. So Shoxy's over here at these sandbags. He doesn't have to worry about anything. There's no Molotov available for Cloud9 to force him out. Look at Skadoodle. He's up on high. The second Shox shows he could be in trouble. Freakazoid's going to be the man that peeks, gets a glimpse of him. Shox manages to find the head. And now all the looking. He's going to flash himself out. Skadoodle is looking. Doesn't manage to land the shot. Has only the AK. And well, it's given all the information they need. Shox has just said, yep, they're still boosted, covering me off. Now the support is coming. NBK and Happy about to rotate in. This is problematic for Cloud9 if they can get control in mid though. But Smiths with the AWP has now moved across a position that actually has started to stop. They have managed to get the kill. Skadoodle manages to get himself a double. They push through on B side as well. Happy got the reply on Skadoodle in mid, but Sean has nothing in Shroud. All pushing on towards Keo here on site. Keo will find one. Gonna pop flash himself out, take a peek in towards Checkers. That is where Sean is waiting. Gonna peek across. Crosshair placement wasn't quite there for Keo, so he does manage to come out on top, and Happy suddenly finds himself in a 1-on-2 situation, both on site. He's got Molly, that will flush out into corner, that will actually land perfectly on towards nothing as he tries to back away. Bomb on the back, Grenade will manage to find him, and now we're down to a 1-on-1. Sean Guest got himself tucked up just the left-hand side. You can see it with the X-ray. Happy looking at the spot. He knows he's there. Happy will find it. And that was the chance for Cloud9. They shouldn't have wrestled control of mid. Honestly, that EnVyUS let them have that round almost.
Right. I mean, that was a situation where Cloud9 should have been completely shut down. But what a 1-on-2 by Happy. Using the Molotov to force the planter away and right into where he was going to throw his grenade. That gets one kill, and he finds Sean there at the end. I do want to say, there's a crack in those sandbags that Shoxy was playing at. So he can actually see when to pop up and take that shot. And that was a beautiful first kill, and just staying alive and gathering intel from there allowed perfect rotations for Envy.
It's all going EnVyUS way. And this time, well, we're back on AKs. They've got a couple of mollies this time, and they are going to try and flush him out. Look at this. They're in the exact same position. This time, they should be able to back it out. Shoxy is in that corner, and he will get taken down. There was the molly to flush him out. And now they have mid-control. What are they going to do with it? Sean Gaius is having a little peek over in vents, but Keo is there. You can see Smith's below him. Oh, if they push this angle, this could go against them. There's Smith, manages to get himself one. Doesn't get the second, but Keo will get the reply. They are going to take control of B site, and it's down to Happy and NBK to rotate.
Yeah, and look at all those Skadoodle and Shroud. This is a very winnable situation, but you can see how much more effective Cloud9 was. They have the mollies to clear out these spots as they enter into bomb site. And their economy was so brutal for the first 5 or 6 rounds. They couldn't afford it, but now that they can, they're having success.
NBK taking a peek. Shroud just having a look. As you mentioned, 4 and 5 hit points all they got. Nothing is the man with the support, and he's the man that's actually covering off. The second NBK drops, he's just off to the side. Happy's going to jump on through. Nothing will find NBK. Now it's all on Happy. Just went a 1v2, and there is the first round for Cloud9. Nothing comes out when it needed, and it was all about the mollies. Managed to finally flush out the mid.
Yep, flush out, and you can see actually how fast Cloud9 has switched things up. That's because when Envy's been bringing the fight to them, pushing A main, pushing in the doorway when they're playing slower, it's ruining everything. So they don't want to let Envy have that aggressive control. So they're playing aggressive themselves, bringing it right back. But here's the scary part. They won one round. That's great. If they get their economy reset here down 6-1, that's going to turn into a scary half.
Yeah, that could be a problem. Happy went for the AWP this time around. He's gone single-handedly, actually A main pushing through, which is why we can see all the information being gathered. Nothing, just keeping them at bay there. It's Keo that was pushed up on the mid. Shox is with him. But 4 members of Cloud9 are setting up for a B take here. Smith is all alone at the moment. They're actually going for the boost, and they're going to try and get across. Oh, Shox manages to get the headshot onto nothing just as he tried to back away, but they're going to flush out Smiths here, push on through. They've got the sight. Keo's going to try and jump through vents, but he will get caught out by Skadoodle. Shox tries to follow. Skadoodle gets a second, and now they have this B control once again in a 4-on-2 situation this time.
Yeah, this is beautiful by Cloud9 with a nice fire execute over at the B site. Ruins everyone's positioning, and Envy, I mean, really, they need to save. This choke point is smoked off, and NBK's all alone. Happy's not even close to him. So they are just going to save those rifles into the next round, and that's Cloud9 starting to stabilize the economy. You can see it's a little bit weak on EnVyUS, which bodes well for the Terra side.
Yeah, finally getting themselves in there. It has been nothing, and Skadoodle, and with nothing going down so early, you weren't sure, but they really did a very good B take. Smith's being left alone. Everybody will get out with the rifles. They're not going to hunt down anyone in the CT spawn where EnVyUS were hiding, but 6-2 the score. Cloud9 starting to get themselves going here. Can they carry that momentum through? Can they start to pick up a few rounds? They haven't been successful going towards A site, and after 2 successful B hits, we'll see if they switch it up.
Yeah, and especially that first round came down to winning mid control away from Envy with that Molotov to flush Shox out of position. So they need more of that. Although it looks like Envy's going to switch up how they play it a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have triple stack over towards Squeaky. Shroud setting up for the smoke. Skadoodle.
Oh, he gets legged.
Position, but Happy.
What a shot from Happy.
Yeah. gets the information as well, pushes out A main. That's confident performance considering he is the only man with a rifle. Good lord, they could be landing. But this triple squeaky push could put Happy in a problem. He's going to back away. Looks like he's going to head all the way back to the corner. That gives them A control. They can't get in the corner. MBK, if he can push on through and keep them pinned off, but he will get taken down. And now Shock's the only man with a rifle. Will have to back away. Smiths and Keo, are they going to try and push on this one? It's going to be tricky. They've only got pistols. Deagle for Keo. Nothing's on the hunt. He's going to try and chase down Shox here, and he may catch him in the back if he's not careful. Sean Gez is going to come around. Shox is in all sorts of trouble. He's about to be pinned with this M4 out. Keo's found out. Shox and Sean Gez literally about to come head to head. He's got one either side of him. No chance for Shox to hold on to that weapon. 6-3, Cloud9, 3 rounds back to back. Starting to build the bank.
Yeah, another buy out of Envy, though. And you said it. That was just very confident from Happy, spamming that up into the wall, the only player over at A. And when those smokes come out, he's looking towards A main. He's not expecting Freakazoid to just push through the smoke that was laid down and just wrap around and get that entry kill. So, I mean, that's Freakazoid. He's just fearless. He's going to do things like that. Which
is great. When you look at, obviously, the performance last week, questioned a little bit, but still very confident. And now, with the rifles, Keo had to save. Didn't manage to get himself a gun while the rest of the team got their M4s. But look at this, big triple boost. Shox once again in the same position. They are going to flush him out, but it was a little late. And Keo, pistol or not, gets himself a double. Now Skadoodle will finally challenge him. But we're in a 2-on-2 situation. Skadoodle will pick up the bomb. He's got nothing in support. These are the 2 top fraggers for Cloud9 currently. So this is a good situation for them. Up against Smiths and Happy. Happy holding that AWP over on A site. Again, he's going to check out an A main, so he's getting the information. Smith's in a good spot as well, so they have both sites pretty well covered.
Yeah, they're splitting one. It's going to be a 2-on-1 for Cloud9 no matter where they go. The tough part for Envy is they've actually pushed up in their respective bomb sites, so they can be at angles that Cloud9 is not expecting them to be.
Happy is almost pushed out to T-spawn right now. He's gone all the way down. Now he's going to rotate back. I'm pretty sure he's aware. He's going to be checking A main. He knows they're coming up short. Nothing is Skadoodle. That's going to be the site they go for. There's the smoke onto Truck, but it's not the angle they need. Happy could catch them off guard here. Caught a glimpse. There he did. Saw Skadoodle. Will manage to land the shot on nothing. And now Skadoodle in the 2-on-1, but he manages to challenge Happy. Gets the bomb plant in there. Smiths is making the rotate, but he is smoked off. And this is now all in the hands of Skadoodle. He's already got 3 kills in this round. Can he make it a 4K? And a great 4th round for Cloud9. Smiths in an unenviable task here.
Skadoodle with his op. This is where he shines. He's going to peek out. He's almost found it. And there it is. Skadoodle wins it for Cloud9. That's a beautiful shot. A great round from him. That's a 4 kill on the round for Skadoodle.
4K, and that's exactly what he needed to get going. That's actually doubled his kill count as well. So it was a fantastic round for him. And again, they got mid-control. This is where it worked. They got the boost. Shox unable to hold them out. Actually in the same spot that he's been for the last couple of rounds, and they are flushing him out every round now.
Yeah, they're being very, very effective with their mid-control. And Envy even had 3 players in mid that round.
5-man stack on B side, pistol. And actually the bomb is coming their way. Molly's going to get straight into the corner. That's going to flush him out. Freakazoid's going to be the first man to come around that corner. But Smiths, we can see with his Deagle, Keo as well. It could go against them. There's a triple Deagle setup here from EnVyUS, and I think they've realized it. I think they're going to rotate around. Sean Gez is like, nobody is in around there. Mid is completely clear. Shroud's pushing out mid. Yeah, they're back in. They're going A.
Yeah, this is a smart adjustment as well. Even throwing that smoke just to keep Envy in this stack. So now they've got a great advantage.
Shock's the only man that's gone up to Truck. Now the rest of EnVyUS are starting to rotate. They've realized something is up. This is not correct. Nobody's pushing on B site. All 5 of them now coming around. Nothing. And Sean Gez coming in towards main. Shock's trying to cover them off. It's going to be Smiths and MBK that will push out mid. They may catch out Freakazoid. They do. Caught him unaware. Skadoodle caught out in the smoke as well by Smiths. That's another one down. But nothing. Unrelenting. Across at Forklift does manage to keep them at bay. But it's into a 3-on-3 situation with bomb plant down.
Yeah, 1 more kill here from Envy would be great. They can salvage this AWP as well if they can keep it alive. That'd be a great find for them, and 1 more kill would do wonders for the economy, or against the economy of Cloud9.
Looks like they're going to keep hold. Happy has backed right back there. With Shox going down, almost certainly will be a save now for them. Chonga is going to try and get around to the middle. He's going to try and find Happy here, but Happy staring at him. Keo, meanwhile, trying to get a 1D, but it's not working out for him. It's more like a multi-D. Still not managing to get through. 6-4. So after a pretty hefty start for EnVyUS. Cloud9 definitely bringing us back into the 5 rounds back to back. More importantly, getting the plants down. Look at that. You just got a glimpse of it there. 12,000 in the bank for Skadoodle. It is starting to really work out well for them. Yeah,
they're looking really good right now. And I mean, one of the things that Taz talked about in his post-game interview was that European team's great at adapting in the middle of these halves. And we're seeing a very, very good adaptation from Cloud9, playing more aggressive and gaining mid-control.
So, a lot of mollies this time around for Cloud9. Happy's going to peek. Freakazoid is there. Skadoodle will land the shot again. And he's been winning out that duel every bit, and that's what we talked about at the start. If he can get going, it's trouble. It was a double-up setup for EnVyUS here with Smiths and Shocks now recovering that one from Happy's body. EnVyUS going for a rotate here. They're going to try, 2-man in the quad, Keo in mid.
Yeah, and look at how spread out Cloud9 is on the terrace side. Just basically a line across the map. They're slowing things down now that they have the advantage. They're waiting to see if EnVy is going to make any kind of aggression play, any kind of information gathering. You know, they just want to be able to punish that before choosing the bomb site they want to hit, which looks like it's going to be over towards the B site.
Skadoodle, Sean nothing. All sat over at B, about to push through. Smith's crosshair is waiting, and he will manage to land Sean Gares as he crosses. This time I think Skadoodle will challenge it. Yeah, there's the little shoulder peek, but he gets smoked off instead. Is he going to try and flash himself through? He's going to flash Keo in, and Keo will find nothing. They do manage to get into sight, but Shroud, is he going to push on through that smoke? He's got the bomb in hands. Freakazoid's going to cover him off here, but EnVyUS already in a good position to try and get the retake in. MBK coming through. That's going to be surely the round for EnVyUS now. Freakazoid, the last man on the back of sight, will get caught out.
Yeah, that's actually a horrendous take from Cloud9. With the 5-on-4 advantage, and you give it away by trying to execute on the B bomb site without a smoke down towards spawn. It's a free kill for the Opper. Not only that, but after that kill goes down, because they don't have a smoke, they have to take time to throw it, to let it deploy the smoke, and that gives all the rotations from Emmy to come over, and now they have 3 ops in their arsenal.
Well, we'll see what they do with it. Triple op setup. Somewhat unorthodox, but we'll see where they go. Shocks, he's got one. He's been smoked off. Happy with the other. Smoked himself off. Happy's actually pushing out. He's gone through Squeaky, and he's going to try and catch Sean Gares off guard, and I think it may work, but Sean, that was the second time that Happy's tried it, and this time he was ready for it. Skadoodle, you can see the mid-control from Cloud9. This may be doable.
Yeah, but look at this rotation from Envy now. And once again, in a 5-on-4, Envy's coming over aggressively, and they have this A bomb site stacked.
Keo will come around. Skadoodle will find him. As you mentioned, they've got Sean Gares. He's already got one around there. Freakazoid, oh, Shocks manages to take down Skadoodle. Freakazoid was trying to be the distractor. Shocks not falling for it. And that was the bomb loose. Freakazoid should be able to collect that one. They could go to B here. The rotate positioning, but Smiths will find nothing. That was just as the smoke cleared. Managed to catch him through mid there. They are going to go for the rotate, but Shocks is already in position. You can see Smiths is going to join them. Shroud and Freakazoid in on site, but I don't think they expect Shocks to already be here. Will come across, doesn't land the shot. Freakazoid manages to come out on top. They will get the plant down. Sean Gares joining them. They managed to take Smiths down from vents. And now MBK in a 3-on-1 retake in an almost impossible position. No way, surely they can do this one. He will get taken down. Freakazoid making it count. For a moment there, you just weren't quite sure it was going to go, but the triple AWP, that's a risky play from EnVyUS going triple AWP.
It is, and what was a little bit scary is that was actually a 5-on-3 at one point for Cloud9, and then they let the equalizer comes in. It seems like there's this point in the middle portion of the round where Sean wants to make his decision, and they kind of stall out, and their players get a little bit passive, and it allows Envy to, to find different positions to use, and they were able to pick it off and equalize, but then a great B take from there helps Cloud9 out massively.
Oh, back and forth the round goes. That's not good for anyone's economy. At the moment, Cloud9 are the ones with the rifles. EnVyUS already lost Keo. That's one going down. MBK might want to try and rescue that one, but it's all the way to the other side of the map. And instead, it's going to be mid-control completely in the hands of Cloud9. And there surely will be a simple B plant now. Happy and MBK, the only two survivors. MBK will find one with a P250. And Happy will get the second. But to get on site in a 1v3 is a nigh on impossible when Freakazoid's ready and waiting for him.
This is actually a great half from Cloud9 so far. About to have their 7th round. They're finding so many entry frags recently. After those first 6 rounds, we talked about in those 6 rounds, nothing was going for them early. Now they've gotten a little bit more aggressive, and they're focusing on that mid-control. They're just abusing it. Skadoodle's been getting entries. Freakazoid got one to help him get back on track. Shroud's found a couple nice shots. So everyone at Cloud9 seems to be clicking very, very well right now.
Happy's just going to hold off. We'll get Sean Gares on the exit, and that's all he's going to get. So it's going to be all square, ladies and gentlemen. We're 1 round to go. 7-7, not what was written when EnVyUS come into this as a tournament winner. This is Cloud9, 6-0 down. Confident play to get themselves back into this one.
Yeah, this is a great position to be in. And, I mean, look at the money from Envy as well. This is going to be, you know, Cloud9 has a great advantage in this round to actually take the lead into the second half. Look at all these pistols that Envy's forced to wield.
Well, Keo with 1,300. That's about all he could buy, I guess. Yeah, he's still got 1,300 in the bank, but he's going to stick with it.
This is that double-edged sword we talked about with Envy as well. They're so good on these force buys, but I mean, you'd much rather have them on these than with the AK-47. So, I mean, now Cloud9 is just in a great spot. This has been a wonderful half for them.
EnVyUS haven't stacked a site. They haven't risked it. They've got 3 on B, so you could argue that is a stack, but happy with the AK boosted over on A site as well. Shroud trying to get a couple of wallbangs through the door. Freakazoid off on the side. It's Happy's the man they need to try and find. He's the only rifle in the EnVyUS team right now. Shox is going to get himself a little peek, a little bit of information in that mid. So far, Cloud9 playing this one very cautiously. Yeah,
they know they have the advantage in terms of their weaponry, and also not only that, but the utility. They know they can wait out some of these smokes, and it's just going to run low for Envy. So they know they can abuse that fact. Now they're finally going to rotate back over towards B.
Sean Gares having a little tip for tat with Smiths there over at B site. The rest of the team rotating. Well, they're coming into a 3-stack here. This is maybe misread the situation. EnVyUS are ready for this one. Keo gets himself 1, won't get the second. That's the sort of shutdown they needed. And now Shox in sight. Happy in MBK rotating. Shox will find himself 1 now that gives his position away. Can he get the second? Yes, he can. This is going wrong. This is exactly what Cloud9 was suffering from last week at Gfinity. And Shroud is going to push on through. He's the only man standing. How the hell did that just fall apart for Cloud9?
There's always a heartbreaking round with Cloud9. Always. And that's it right there. Shox finds 3 one-on-one battles with that 5-7. It's so clean. He has so much time to just hang out. He kills Sean, who's trying to clear the bomb site while jumping, looking the wrong way. Like, no one clears that spot, and then from there it's just one-on-one battles, and you're going to lose those against Envy, even with the pistols. They're just so good on the force buys.
Man, it's just come around to bite them in the ass once again. They knew about this. This is something they talked about. And that was just maybe, whether it was information gathering, where they just didn't, you know, check sites. They were expecting it to be stacked one way or the other, but...
Well, here's what's a little weird about it is that Molotov execute they do, the Molotov they throw into the B bomb site eliminates half the bomb site in that little headshot spot along the wall where the grill is.
There's only one area.
There's only like
check,
1 or 2 places that someone can be, and they didn't clear out that one or 2 spots.
And when he gets the first kill, he's like, he's in that corner, guys. Yeah. He's in the corner. Let's peek one at a time. Let's go.
Well, and that's where you can see Cloud9 really respecting Envy on the force buys. Is it seemed like players were just so scared to actually swing on it. They wanted to stop in the open and kind of take a rifle battle. And you know, if you can just turn the corner and eliminate them, I mean, that's what has to happen.
So clear their minds. They're still coming into this second half as the CT side, 8-7 down. That is a much better performance, considering it was 6-0 the start for EnVyUS. They really did drag themselves back into this one very nicely. EnVyUS discussions here before we start this second half off. How do we read this? This has been Cloud9 turning up, honestly.
It has been. It was Cloud9 actually taking punches for 6 rounds and then figuring things out. And, you know, it was interesting that Envy found a lot of success being aggressive early on and to get to those 6 rounds, and they never really went back to it. You know, they just kind of decided Cloud9's going for mid control, we'll just stack mid instead, but they never aggressively took map control again on either side of the map.
Well, the pistols very much went EnVyUS's way last time. In fact, Cloud9 just got 4 kills in the first 3 rounds combined. And again, this time, Cloud9 starting to make things worse. Skaduda's going to come around the back there, tries to get on towards them, but again, EnVyUS wrestle control, and it's down to Shroud and Freakazoid. Shroud's going to peek on through. He's got 1 directly below him, has the positional advantage, but doesn't land a single shot. And now Freakazoid, the only man to try and challenge. Smith's about half hit points. Shox just off the side. In checkers, could land the opener there, didn't quite get on towards him. He's never going to be able to stick this. He's got 10 seconds to try and hold that one. Worth a try, I guess. And Smiths will take him down. And that's both pistols now lost by Cloud9.
Yeah, and that was actually another round where they had really good positioning. They had mid-control as the CT team. They had Skadoodle in the vents, so they essentially had 3 players over at B. And that was just a 4-man B rush. And Envy just wins out on the trades and the kills. So nicely done from them.
And Shroud's going to look back there and think, how did I not land a single hit? Yeah. So how is that possible? Oh, they've read this situation well, Cloud9. They are set up well for it. They've gone for that scout for Skadoodle, but he's been flushed out of checkers a little bit here, and that grenade, along with the MAC-10 of Happy, will close him down. Sean Gare's not going to be able to surprise anyone there. Freakazoid trying to play the Shox situation, but Shox this time did exactly what they should have done. Happy is ready for Shroud, the second he peeks through vents here, and these MAC-10s are racking them up a whole lot of money.
Yeah, 4 SMGs and a Tech 9. That's a very mobile terrorist squad on the anti-eco, and you could see how aggressively they played at turning these corners. Here's the tough part for Cloud9 is Happy might be able to find what he does, so just more money in the bank for him. They're just farming Cloud9 at the moment, but here's the thing. Since Cloud9 bought there, they're not doing any damage whatsoever, so this is a terrible round for them. And coming up onto the first gun round, Skadoodle might not be able to afford an op. They're going to have he bought the scout, so there's no way he's going to have an op on the fourth round, which was a huge boon for them in the first half. His AWP was fantastic, but I mean, this is going to be a very light buy. We're going to see it up in the first gun round in terms of their nades, their kits. They're going to be very, very light on all of it.
Yeah, 1900 across the board, flat broke pretty much. So I think we're going to see a straight save coming out. As you're saying that, well, realistically would be 11-7, and EnVyUS, well, they're suddenly very close to taking this game. AK coming out for Keo, the rest of the team sticking with the SMGs. And why not? Because they know they're up against a pretty much full eco here. Just the head armor for nothing, which he saved from the last round. And already they're flushing out, they're pushing through. This is going to be a straight up B rush once again.
Or no, they're just going to fake it. So they pulled the rotation on this anti-eco, and now they're going all the way back towards the A bomb site, and Cloud9's stuck. Now they have one behind him. Happy's going to cut off any rotations, but Cloud9 in an awkward position now.
Should be able to catch Freakazoid out. Yep. Just going to... nearly missed it. Just a little twitch there. Nothing's going to try and get up through Squeaky. Shox, I think, should catch him in the back if he looks left. No, he's not going to. Nothing will find him instead. Doesn't manage to get himself the weapon, but will get a second kill on towards MBK. Now he's going to pick himself up a MAC-10, but with just 10 hit points, it's pretty much an unenviable task. Doodle finds one on Happy. So they are managing to get the kills despite not getting the round, making EnVyUS pay as much as they can.
Right, but with the SMGs that Envy had, they built up so much money, so it means less economically that they're dying. And also, there's no weapon for Cloud9 to salvage. The only one that's really worth anything is Keo's AK-47, and they're not going to find that. There's no way Keo gives that up to him.
Yeah, how did nothing not manage to find that MAC-10 that was in the middle?
Because next round they're going to have to buy the rifles, so there's no real reason to even take it.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to go for one last kill at the end, but I think he just preferred to have the 5.7 as a secondary.
Yeah, now they're going to be stacking head armor. Is Smith going to stick with that MAC-10? Let's see. No, there we go. I was going to say, that's a little too cocky if he goes that far. But 11-7 is the score. And this is, well, the story of EnVyUS so far. Win the pistol, pick up a chunk of rounds, and then see what Cloud9 can respond with. Now, mid-control being very much pushed by EnVyUS here. Smith's in there, MBK, all pushing through the middle. Shroud still caught out, burning, tries to smoke himself out. They know he's still in the corner. There's a lot of bullets rattling his direction. Support is coming. Freakazoid and Skadoodle come around the side. Freakazoid gets one. Shroud gets a second. But that's going to be B-site now in control. Keo managing to get it. But the bomb is loose in middle. And Cloud9 have position.
Yeah, and Envy actually has 2 flank positions. So Happy's going to take... Oh, and a second one. What a job from him. Nicely done. And look at how much emphasis both of these teams are putting on middle on their terror side.
Yeah, they're stacking it out. And 1-3-1. Almost the set standard tactic that we've been seeing from these guys. And yeah, as YNK points out, our respectator, very much all about that sandbags. We saw Shox obviously using that position heavily. And of course the white box. Shroud this time, they're going to stack out. It is only going to be a pistol, and they're stacking the right side so far for Envy. If they don't show themselves too heavily, Envy could walk into a trap. Oh, well, they managed to get 2, Sean Gares and Skadoodle, but that is about all it's going to be. Nothing the last man. Caught out in checkers, gets himself 1, rescues the AK. He's in a 1-on-2. Oh, if it had only landed that 1 tap, that may well have been everything. No armor for him, of course, but the rotate's coming from EnVyUS. They're going to push back around to A site. Nothing's going to make sure it's clear before he goes for this retake. And he's going to see and hoover up anything he can in and around B site.
Yeah, it just turns into a gamble decision at this point for nothing. If he could have landed that one kill there at the end to make it a 1-on-1, but either way, a pretty solid eco round from Cloud9. But they're running out of rounds where that's going to matter. Now that they're down, they're about to be down 13-7, unless this is something magical. He actually looks like he's going to go for it here. Try and find an early kill and do a 1-on-1. He has no kit.
Well, he should be able to buy up anyway after this one. So Let's see what he can do. He knows there's going to be one in quad at least, but they're both there. Little peek coming out. Smith's just getting a little look here. He's in a good situation. Got himself into forklift position, but he's expecting the main, and they're both double stacked behind him. Yeah, coming in back turned. Smith will pick himself up an easy kill and the round. And now at 13-7, Cloud9 suddenly under serious pressure.
Yeah, and the solution has got to be if they can get an op in Skadoodle's hands. They're going to need that weapon, and they do pick it up on him, so that's key.
Big round for Skadoodle. What can he do? As he mentioned, 6 rounds back-to-back in the CT side for EnVyUS. 5 rounds back-to-back so far for EnVyUS on the T side. Can Skadoodle reply? Oh, caught a glimpse of the legs of Shox as he flashed on by. Smith is with him. That bomb's been dropped. Nothing's pushed really aggressively here and will find Happy. So that's one man down to the good. And if it have only just took a little glimpse to the right, he would have seen the bomb loose in mid. Shox smoked off. And what are they going to do? So EnVyUS in a 4v5. They're going to regroup. And they're going to head straight into Skadoodle's crosshair.
Yeah, this is actually, I mean, Cloud9 has good mid control here as well with nothing in the vents. Shroud also peeking at the box. This is a very, they can have 3 players over towards the A-bomb site because of that mid control. They only need 1 player there with the player in the vents. So they have a good defense for this, and Skadoodle, he's inches away from finding another one.
Oh, scoped in, zoomed in, finds Shox. That is one of the main players down. And that is going to be Cloud9 keeping them away. They have completely backed off from this one. They're coming B side. MBK's got a little bit of control in mid there. Got flashed out though. Kio's got himself into checkers. Shroud the man here with Sean Gares in support in upper. Shroud got a little glimpse on, I think it was Kio in checkers. MBK is backing him up now, and the rotate's coming. Nothing, and Freakazoid will join them. Wasn't able to hold them off. Sean Gares has just got to keep them from planting while the rest of his team get in support. Will manage to get around, finds the bomb planter. That's what he needed to do. Nothing comes in, finds 1, finds 2, and Cloud9 will pick up an all-important 8th round.
Yeah, huge. And this could, I mean, this if we can see Cloud9 stabilize their economy, this can turn into a little bit of deja vu where Envy wins the first 6 rounds of the half, and then Cloud9 figures out some adjustment to make. And they have to. This is the point. This is their one last window of opportunity to stabilize the economy. If they're forced to save here, that's going to be brutal. That'll allow Envy to get onto map point.
And great play from Nothing, because he started and ended that round. It was all about him pushing through, finding Happy in mid. This time Shroud's been the aggressive. Oh, they're going to 3-stack over on A site, and that's exactly where EnVyUS are coming here. So this is a good situation. Nothing in a quick position to rotate. Skadoodle once again with that AWP. Got himself set up, but Happy is actually in Squeaky with an AWP of his own. He's going to be looking across. Not going to be able to get it too much until he swings out there, but it's all about Envy. Can MBK and Kyo put down the distraction? Here they go. They're going to push on through. Flashes, smokes, everything down. Skadoodle in a good position. Will get completely caught out. We'll manage to find one. It was the bomb carry he got. Nothing still there in support. This is good setup now. Freakazoid does manage to land a second. Now they catch out. Happy will go down. They're going to rescue that. That could give them a double up setup here if they want it. They only lost 1 man, and that's put Envy onto a save.
Yeah, aggressive rotations.
Or will they force? We've seen it with Envy. We never know, really.
Well, Smith just buys up the Tech 9 and armor. They do have a couple Tech 9s out. Doesn't look like it's going to be too committed with the armor and everything, but still obviously a dangerous situation. But the big thing is Cloud9 showing that really aggressive fast rotation. They had Freakazoid and Nothing swinging into the bomb site so quickly that Envy wasn't prepared for it.
Oh, Freakazoid going to go for early information gathering. I think he just caught a glimpse of one behind the box there. That grenade will rattle around, but they're pushing through on Squeaky very quickly. They don't manage to find Freakazoid. Now they finally get him down, but the damage has been done. Shroud's just gunned them down as they pushed out there. Gets himself a triple. Skadoodle finishes. And suddenly we're at 13-10. Quick and easy for Cloud9 to pull themselves 3 rounds back.
Yeah, looking pretty good for Cloud9 as well. I mean, they've stabilized. They have some money behind them. So they have a bank. They've got the op and Skadoodle. They have everything they need here to make this a comeback. And once again, they've made some adjustment in the middle stages of this half, and they're really turning it on its head.
It's what we heard Taz talking about, obviously, talking about how they start to play each other more often, and that's really it for North America. The more and more they play the European teams, the more they'll learn, the more they get used to it. Well, obviously, Cloud9 and EnVyUS met and played 3 matches just last week, very much aware of each other. The boost here from Shroud, covering off A main. EnVyUS definitely going to play this one a lot slower.
Well, here's the clever thing by Cloud9. They've switched Skadoodle's position over towards B. This might catch Envy off guard. He misses the shot. He had it, though, on Smith's.
Well, that gives Kyo the information. He knows there's an AWP over there now. But remember, they do have a second on Sean Gares, who's holding the mid at the moment. Skadoodle is going to stick around there. They're not going to switch positions up. Nothing's just still holding that double stack with Shroud on A site, and Freakazoid backing him up. So they're very confident this is going to be an A play.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a fake. They're actually going to boost over. So they throw the smokes, they throw the flashes towards A, and they're going to boost mid. Sean's going to miss the shot. He's under a lot of pressure now.
Yeah, he needed to land that one. He will get out of there alive, though, and they're going to be going straight through vents. Skadoodle in the back here, just covering off Checkers. Freakazoid's going to be joining him, but he's got to hold them off. He manages to get the bomb carrier. That's a good start. They're going to try and swarm his site, but look at this. Freakazoid comes around. Skadoodle gets a second, and they will keep them at bay. Happy, the only man standing with just 9 health, and Shocks will push on through. That's another easy one. And that was a great rotate from Cloud9.
That looks so scary. Skadoodle in a 1-on-4 situation, grabs the first pick, stays alive, and Freakazoid buys him enough time to rotate over. And he bails Skadoodle out of a tough spot. So another great defense situation from Cloud9 where they're aggressively rotating. They're getting to these bomb sites so quick when the hit does come in.
Fantastic stuff. Well, Cloud9, 4 rounds back-to-back for them. And that has... Let's see what EnVy are going to do here. They've got about 3k. Are they going to force something out? Happy did have the AK from the last round. We're going to see Tech9's forced in. We are going to see a few popping in there and head armor as well. It's very much a mishmash, and this is
what they're known for.
The story of last week, isn't it? It's what they're known for. Just keep on forcing.
Yeah, and Cloud9's actually given up mid-control this round, and this might be the adjustment that we were seeing that helped them. I mean, EnVy's slowed things down just a little bit, but now look at this is going to be a fast mid-B split. Sean's got to do some work.
Sean's at the back of Checkers, gets himself a double. Can he make it a triple? Not going to be working for him, but nothing with the cross there. He was the man that actually let MBK get past. Was kind of flashed out, but it's enough to give the information. Everybody comes around. Skadoodle actually getting one through the door there. Shroud will find the last, and it's just Happy in Checkers. They know exactly where he is. It's going to be 13-12 for Cloud9 unless Happy pulls off something amazing. That's going to be Freakazoid finding the final kill. And this is a really strange back and forward game. 5 rounds to EnVy, 5 rounds to Cloud9. Even half, timeout called out from EnVyUS.
Yeah, a very important timeout now as Cloud9's kind of close the gap.
The smile from Jordan says it all. They are suddenly very confident in their abilities.
Yeah, they're cruising, and even you can see it in how they're playing. They're not afraid to take these battles, and they know they're more worried about bailing their teammates out of a tough spot than coming in and missing a shot or dying. So they're playing very, very confident, very well with how they're rotating, and this is kind of a change. I mean, this is very similar to the first half where we saw EnVyUS CT be aggressive for 6 rounds, go out to that quick lead. Here in this half, they were still very aggressive. They were going out mid very early on. They were going B very, very quickly, being aggressive, and they've kind of slowed things down now, respecting the ops a little bit of Skadoodle.
Well, EnVyUS have got enough money to buy up in this round, so we'll see what they come out with, but just looking at Cloud9, there's 12k on Sean Gayers, 10k on nothing. They have money for days right now, and at 13-12, that's pretty much going to carry them to the finish line. That could very much be enough bank to finish the game off for them. 13-12, they've got as many rounds as they did last week already, and they're in a fantastic position to continue on. Now, bearing in mind, this is like a lot of people are going to look at this map and go, yeah, but it's a best of 1. But it's a best of 1 on a map that they've played 3 times on before, and EnVyUS have come out on top. Other than last week, was a bit shaky, but they've been convincing. Other than that, is this Cloud9 really starting to finally step up to the plate? Represent North America, Moses.
Yeah, they're the team that we wanted to do it. We've been looking for them to do it for quite some time, and to me, they're one of the, that between them and Keatstars are the teams that are going to have to step up. The best opportunity to do it of all the teams we have here, and now you can see now that they're, like you said, you can see it on their face. They're happy. They're playing confident. They're playing loose. They're making good decisions.
Well, I mean, Virtus Pro is the team that they would face if they won it. Luminosity would be the team they'd face if they lost it. They actually played Virtus Pro last week as well, so we can have another good read on that one, of course. But if they can take the scalp of EnVyUS in their first game of the tournament, the confidence boost that will give them would be enormous. Here we go, though. What do we read from this one? EnVyUS, long pause, long discussion. What are they going to do? Looks like it's going to be a boost mid.
Back to the aggression, but it's not working because Keo, the rest of the team got separated by a Molotov, so Shroud's going to grab one. Nothing as well.
And they have just took this down to a one-man stand. Happy. The pause or not, that just did not work, and Cloud9 read that situation perfect.
You got to imagine they had that discussion during the pause. When we were playing fast and aggressive early on, we got out to that 6-round lead. Sean's going to push up. He's going to find the angle, but can't win the battle. But still, Happy, not a lot of hope for him here. But you saw EnVy tries to go back to that aggression, and they get separated by a Molotov on the boost. They were supposed to have 2 to 3 players boosted very, very quickly, but instead it isolated one who got taken out.
Well, Happy tried to sell the fake through the flash over at B, but instead looks like he's going to try and sit this one out and wait for someone to rotate around. He's got 48 seconds on the clock, so not really able to run the clock down because it'll take him quite a while here. Freakazoid's in the perfect position to cut him down the second he comes around this corner, but he's going to be checking this angle. He's ready, but we're just 12 hit points he had coming into that one. There was no chance, and now we're at 13-13, all square. Over to you, EnVyUS. What will you do to react to this 6-round dominance from Cloud9?
And that's the question now, because they can, this might be a force buy out of them. This is a situation where they could, but it's a risky. I mean, you have the Galil, so they are force buying. Happy hasn't even bought anything quite yet.
This is almost do or die, this round. They do not win this force buy, they're in serious situations. Galil for Smiths, already the grenade landing perfectly. And, well, just 40 hit points for Shox. That's going to give them serious problems. Happy's going to be the man that will go in towards Squeaky, but Skadoodle and Freakazoid really haven't been too pressured. The moment Skadoodle got that AWP, he has held this site every single round.
Yeah, he's been extremely effective with it. He's been great. Now look at this fast execute, and there's another kill for him.
Well, Freakazoid's off the side as well. He knows he's got the support. Skadoodle gets another one, nothing with the backup, and Envy just dropping like flies. Another easy one for Cloud9, and they have the lead for the first time in this game over EnVyUS, 14-13. Moses, it might be happening.
It looks like it is to be. And here's the thing. I don't want to get too excited because Cloud9, we talked about it, they have those heartbreak moments. And I mean, with the money that Envy has, they're buying every round, basically, is what that last round buy said, is that we're buying every round until the last one. So this is another one of those situations with those Tech-9s, they can still do a lot of damage.
It's another A play. Shox trying to be the distractor over at B, trying to create any chaos, any situation that he can. Nothing's covering off the mid, but you can see Skadoodle, untested, manages to land the shot onto Happy there through the wall, knocking him down to just 39 hit points. They're going to flash themselves out. They're going once again, but it's into the blender. This time they find Freakazoid down. Skadoodle is still in the corner, and the molly from Freakazoid managed to land. Skadoodle doesn't land the shot, doesn't land the second. Now they're going to get A control. What can they do with it? Shox manages to find the frag in the mid as well, and suddenly Shroud and Sean gets the last two standing. Bomb manages to go down, but it's a 2-on-1.
It's a free defuse.
It's a free defuse. Shox is miles away. He's coming A main, and he's not got the angle. Shroud will get this defuse without any issues. And Cloud9
they get away with
on match point against EnVyUS. Yes, Freakazoid knows exactly what that meant.
That was so close to the heartbreak round. That was so incredibly close. The intelligent play. Shox got a kill lurking in mid, so they immediately called it out. He's so far away. Just get on the defuse. And that's exactly what happened. He was defusing in the fire to make sure that the rotation wasn't going to come in time, so Cloud9 on the verge of a major upset early on.
What can they do? It's going to be glass cannon time for Happy. Last roll of the dice for EnVyUS to keep themselves in this matchup. Can they try and drag this to overtime? Keo, actually look at this, nothing, and Shroud pushed all the way around B site. They got all the information, they got the kill, and now the rotate from Freakazoid is already on. They're heading towards A site. They're flashing out the mid, covering off. They don't have any information from mid control right now, so they have no idea where EnVyUS are, other than the fact they're most likely A site.
Yeah, and you're going to see, I mean, still, they haven't really rotated quite yet. Nothing's starting to be mobile. There's Sean with one, and Skadoodle still anchoring this site, being so effective with that up. That's the story for Cloud9 so far.
Manages to get himself in position. He knows there's one coming around. It's going to be Shox. He's going to find him. Doesn't manage to land the first, but he will get the second. And Skadoodle holds strong. And this is now all on NBK. He is a natural-born killer, but in a 4v1 with 40 seconds remaining on the clock, can he sell a fake to Cloud9? Virtus Pro or Luminosity will be the opponent of Cloud9 to take down the first European scalp in their first game of the tournament would be magnificent. NBK finds one. Skadoodle's the man in the corner, though. He knows he's there. He gets a second. Freakazoid and Shroud coming in. He's going to get the bomb plant in. Freakazoid will be the first to challenge coming around the corner. The molly's there. He's burning. He's got to get around. Now they know the position. They've flushed him out. They're going to go in a 2v1. NBK, it's all on the first shot as he exits and comes around. The defuse is holding. It's going to come through. And Cloud9 will take it. They stuck it out, and NBK unable to land the shot. And Cloud9, ladies and gentlemen, will take down EnVyUS 16-13.
What a display from Cloud9. That defense just locked it down, and it was those adjustments in the middle portions of these halves. First half down 6-0, and they come storming back. Second half down 5-0, and they come storming back once again. So the adjustments they make, once they had the offense duel on that CT side, he anchored the bomb sites, Freakazoid nothing, very mobile, very aggressive on their rotations to bail them out of tough spots, and a huge win for Cloud9.
What an amazing story to start things off here at the ESL ESEA Pro League. Let's get over towards the analyst desk and take us through that amazing game.
He's going to introduce.
Yeah. Wow, what a game. What a performance from Cloud9. That second half is going to need some breaking down. And to do that, Devil Walk, why on earth did that happen? What did Cloud9 do?
I mean, I'm just like super impressed with how they handle grenades, Molotovs, and like forcing them out. Because if you look at like the first rounds, like even like MBK crushed them in the pistol round. And like, see here, they force Keo out, they get the entries, they get the side, they kind of just push him. It's not an individual play that gets them these rounds. It's actually like utilizing all these grenades, like even the rounds where they like pushes through smokes and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they were 5-0 down both halves. Like, you should not win that game. That's...
And against a team of the caliber of Envy, right?
Yeah.
That just doesn't kind of fit together.
It makes it that much more impressive. And, you know, Devlock, he pointed out the use of Molotovs and such. And the funny thing was, Notts and I were sitting and watching, and they didn't really use it at the beginning. Like, there were shocks behind sandbags, and they just completely left him there. They tried to challenge. He wasted so much of their time, as you were saying, Natsu. And then they just seemed to turn on. It seemed like they finally adapted, and they finally realized this is how we need to play this map, and this is how we need to come back. They lost 16-12 last time they met at Gfinity, and they come out with a big win, 16-13.
For me, the good signs were, even in the early rounds, they got into a lot of 2-on-2s and those kind of nitty-gritty situations where they could have actually won those rounds, but just not able to really pull them through. But that kept Envy's economy really humble towards the end of the half, and that really gave Cloud9 the chance to they should have won that last round. That's one of the, I think, a situation where they did not use the Molotovs and grenades well enough. But in the end...
Sorry, I was just going to say, you talk about Molotovs. There's a great example you wanted to bring up, Jonathan, where you saw how effective these Molotovs can be. Can you explain that on the first round?
I mean, it was I think it was the 6th round or 5th, when they came up boost, they forced Sharks out, Molotov him. He just goes down instantly. They go through vent. They don't just push down instantly. They actually throw a Molotov back vent, the box back vent room, and they force another player out. And they just, I mean, that's 2 free picks. They're ready for it. I mean, they're standing there aiming. Sharks or Keo standing in those Molotovs is so hard knowing when, like, am I fleeing or am I taking the duel? Like, you're taking damage constantly. It's a very stressful situation being in a Molotov.
And then the next question, of course, we say, Cloud9 just stepped up, but how is that going to affect Envy? I've always kind of thought of those as a team that can kind of come back from a problem very quickly. They're quite a team that's prone to problem solving on the go. Jason, do you think that's going to have any effect on where we see Envy taking this?
I think it was something Devlock said right before he came on air. This is like an Envy thing to do. Just kind of lose out in the first game, then come back later on the tournament and really start to shine. I think it's something they'll brush off. I mean, they're not too hurt about it. They just beat them last weekend. It's not like they can't beat them kind of thing, but they'll be up against another North American team next, or not directly next, but against the Luminosity, which will be an interesting match to see. I think the first time these two teams will have met online or on Landstar, or even online at all in the entire season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just super impressed by Cloud9. I actually think, even though the scoreline was 16-13, I actually think this was a dominating performance, like from Cloud9. How effective they were on the weapon rounds. The Envy actually got like 6-ish rounds, like ecos, like pure ecos, not force buys, pure ecos from Cloud9, and you can see like they didn't utilize many force buys from Cloud9's part, but you can see why they utilized those nades so well. So why would you go for those?
And for me, I think it was the thing is Envy's T side. They were trying a lot of things. They were hitting B, they were hitting A, they were trying to go through middle, and then in late round, as they were going to A, they would do 180 and go towards B, which was the right decision to do. But then you had Shroud and Nothing locking down B. So for me, like just looking at that all, it was Cadoodle obviously dominating A side, but also like it was just a lockdown everywhere. Like there was nowhere they could have gone.
They played it perfectly. I mean, the guy got 1 kill, survived for long. The rotation came in. It was like it was a very, very solid game of Counter-Strike from Cloud9 and every from all points.
And Shroud too. There was one round I think we even saw the replay of where he got 2 kills middle on boost. pushed into the smoke and just sat there. He knew he was safe. His teammates were there to back him up, and they couldn't kill him. I think he picked up even a third after that. That was so smart out of this man who pretty much plays Counter-Strike 12 hours minimum a day.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the point that needs to be made, is that these guys, their comms was so clean and clear as well. Because I mean, they're right in front of us, but I could just hear every round, they started to believe a little more. Like, it started so quiet, like, yeah, good job, man, good job. Yeah. 4 in. Oh my God, we can do this, boys. We can do it. And suddenly they become like Murica.
The Murica drive. Really pumped, yeah.
Freakazoid just like rippling his muscles.
I wanted to go fist bump him after that. Just, Americans together.
Your fist would shatter.
It would. It would not be a hand anymore.
Yeah, no, but we are going to hear back what Sean Keras has to say. We're going to be getting him on any second now. We're going to be hearing what he has to say about this game. I can only assume from an in-game leader's perspective, he is as happy as can be. I mean, when you have to mount a comeback, it comes down to the calls you make, right? I mean, I assume the majority of a comeback is down to the calls.
Yeah, I mean, I think their decision making was not bad throughout the first half. Like I said, it came down to a lot of 2-on-2s and situations like that. That's where in-game leading has nothing to do with it anymore. So they were playing themselves into situations where there was always a possibility to come out with a win in a round, and that's very important.
I mean, spot on calling. I mean, you gotta give props to Sean, because I mean, looking at other tournaments like Gfinity, like the really shaky, seemed a bit lost at times, but really, really impressed. And yeah.
I'm loving this. So, I can now proceed to do some magic. I'm just going to wave my hands. And Jason has transformed into Sean Geras. Sean Geras joining us. Thank you very much for coming, rather. That was a game and a half. Like, you must be on is there still adrenaline flowing through your veins?
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, honestly, though, it would have been I would be a lot more kind of jittery, but it seemed like we had so much control in the later stages of each half that I kind of felt like we were going to bring it back right there.
So at what point did it become realistic? Like quite literally when you picked up that first round on the comeback?
Yeah, I would say like once we broke their money and we had the economic advantage, that's when it definitely settled that we were probably going to win.
So that's what you were mentioning there. So you were talking about how basically as soon as they got into the economy of Envy, things started going more their way.
Yeah, I think that the big part here was that you guys were able to put down the situation to those 2-on-2s and things like that round after round after round, and that kept Envy humble with their economy, and that paid dividends going further down in the half.
Yeah, I mean, if we take a step back for a second, the cash pick, is that something you went into that matchup kind of searching for?
Yeah, so we did a lot of research on a couple of their maps and basically controlled the veto in a way where like we knew they had no choice but to get it down to cash.
Smart.
So yeah, cash is one of the maps we did a lot of research on, and basically like over the last couple of tournaments they've had a very similar style, and we kind of played into that.
How much have you actually experienced or not experienced? What's the word? Like played around with the usage of Molotovs and grenades, because I was actually really, really impressed by the way you use those grenades and like kind of forced out to try to get those entries.
Oh yeah, like on our T sides?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we've always been pretty Molly heavy as far as like my team goes with like complexity to Cloud9 to like, I mean, even current day Cloud9 when Semphis is gone, because Semphis was like one of the biggest proponents of using Molotovs, and basically we started implementing in a lot of our strats. But something that I noticed about EnVyUS is that they play 2 in the B site a lot. So Molotovs destroy like the 2 B site setup. Yeah. So because of that, we use them more so than we even normally do. And basically you probably saw like even this scenario. Yeah. So when they're not playing checker box, there's 2 in the site. And we basically used that to our advantage.
And you used it a lot against like neutralizing shocks in the middle for the sandbag. Once you realized that because I think you lost the first gun run from him being there and kind of like delaying, like getting picks.
Yeah, that actually really upset me because that's actually exactly how we lost the first gun round at Gfinity. And going into that, we know that they like to play 2-on-2 a lot, and Shoxy will stay around mid because he's like an impact player. He likes to get those frags. And basically, like we knew that he likes staying around Sandbagger's pool, but it still happened.
Yeah. So another question is something that you guys have been kind of pinned as is a team that always struggles to pick up pistol rounds. Like pistol rounds seem to kind of evade you, and they certainly did in this game as well. I mean, that's something you're aware of? Is that something fair to say?
Yeah, it definitely is. So probably about a month ago, we made the transition of I'm no longer calling pistol rounds. It's like the only rounds that I don't call. So,
okay, that's cool.
So a lot of times, like, I'm not gonna say who, but certain players on the team will call pistol rounds, and obviously like do like a little bit of check and balance on it and be like, that seems a little bit too crazy. But we thought of 2 last night, and they just didn't pan out. I mean,
yeah. well, it did pan out in the end, let's be honest. I mean, you know, you made it difficult for yourselves by not picking up those pistols, but really, really good job from Cloud9. Thanks for coming once again, Sean Garrett. We'll probably see more of you, hopefully, in this tournament, and we'll have you back at the desk. For us here, though, it is time for us to take a break, and when we get back, we're going to be seeing CLG and Fnatic battle it out and see if more NA upsets can be caused.